The automotive landscape changed drastically in the 70s, and this was just perfect timing for Honda to start bringing their cars to the United States. This first generation Honda tiny car offered luxury options like the power steering and the air conditioning. Now, yes, I know that these are regular features and standard today, but back then, to afford this, you had to be a big baller. Now, the cars in America did not offer these. They were more expensive, and this led to Honda selling out over 200,000 units of their first generation car. Proper joints. Now, by 1980, Honda had successfully become the first non-American car to build a manufacturing plant in the United States, and this was all due to the success of the first generation car. Now, the second generation car was much more bigger and stylish than the first, and this had an extra cool feature. It came with a fur upholstery for the seats. Now, by 1982, something happened. Toyota launched the Camry, and Honda knew that it was time to buckle up and start planning the next Accord. Now, for this third generation Accord, Honda specifically employed a new designer to outperform Toyota's Camry. Now, this new design came with a sporty blade-like design and the iconic pop-up headlights for the third generation Accord. Now, this also kind of explains why Honda is always ahead of Toyota when it comes to design. Gone with pop-up headlights and the angular wedge shape in this fourth generation Accord. Now, this Accord was much bigger, and Honda introduced the 5-door station wagon for the first time. This car had no comma. Honda Ala was the nickname for this car in Nigeria. What does it remind you of? Good times. The fifth generation Accord came with VTEC, and VTEC stands for Variable Valve Timing Technology. And this means that this car saves more fuel and can perform at much higher speeds. Honda also introduced the V6 engine in the Accord for the first time with a specially designed 2-door version of this car. This car was popularly called the Honda Accord Bulldog, and it attracted a lot of young buyers because it was a lot of fun. This Accord generation cannot be forgotten in a hurry in the history of Nigeria and Honda. This 6th generation Accord featured in a popular Tyrese movie back then, and this was where it gained the nickname Baby Boy and has stuck ever since. In case you didn't know the history of the yawa yawa problem of Honda, it is this car. Now, the ball joint had problems with rough roads and it made them fail. But the Baby Boy had this sexy 2-door version that I cannot get out of my head. It is amazing and it's just out of this world. This 7th generation of the Accord is arguably one of the most popular cars in Nigeria. It is none other than the Honda EOD. End of discussion. Now, this car, also known as the Honda VTEC, let's backtrack a bit. If you remember when we talked about the 5th generation, the Honda Accord Bulldog, we mentioned that it uses the VTEC, right? This uses the VTEC, which basically means that this is a revised fuel-saving technology, and this is what Honda used to surpass its Toyota rival, the Camry. This car was very popular amongst Nigerians for its comfort, its styling, and its utility. But when Honda made the EOD, they were going for an environmentally friendly car because by this time, they were almost done with their obsession with the sporty looking car. But the 2-door models for this car still existed. So this 8th generation Accord is the Evil Spirit. Now this one is classified as a big sedan. It's bigger than all the other cars that came before it. Way bigger, much bigger. This 8th generation Accord is another popular one. It is the Honda Evil Spirit. But because the Honda had been tainted in Nigeria due to the ball joint issue in their previous generations, this car did not do as well as the Camry. But in the north, yeah, they were loving the Honda. So ball joints issue, no ball joints issue, the northerners were buying this Honda. Now, aside changing your alternator every once in a while, it was a good car. The 9th generation of the Accord is what I would call just a continuation of the 8th. So there were no radical changes in the car, but there was a facelift. In fact, a major facelift happened in 2015. Now that's the one I'll actually call like actual facelift. It looked like an actual facelift, like proper makeup, proper high quality materials were used for that. So same face, different steels. Like this particular face in 2015 took it from a 7 to a 10. It gave it a more aggressive and sporty look. Now in the 10th generation, the Honda Accord was leaving behind that sporty look for a more executive and luxurious design. Now the language here is different. Now what do the Audi A7, the Benz GT 4-door and the Accord have in common? The sportsback. If you look at the side view of this car, it looks like an attempt to be shaped like a sportsback. Now Honda also introduced a turbo engine into the lineup for this generation, but it has received a lot of reliability complaints in higher mileages in Nigeria. A lot of Honda lovers do not like this design for the generation. We're now in the 11th generation, and looking at the current version of this car, it is honestly so hard to imagine that it started as that tiny car in 1976 but has grown to become this sexy, executive, luxurious sedan today. Now for me, my favorite is the 9th generation, especially the 2015 where we got that facelift. It took it from a 7 to a 10, and honestly it was one for the books. Now tell me exactly what you liked in this video. Tell me your favorite car from what generation, and if you prefer the Honda to the Toyota Camry. Let's know in the comment section. As usual, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. My name is Olamide, and this is 234 Drive.